Hello. Welcome to another episode of Talk Nerdy. We are live on my channel. I accidentally, this morning when I was streaming on Kick and Twitch, I accidentally told everybody that it was going to be on Mara's channel. And then I texted Mara and she said it was on my channel. Yes. So I was like, well, I better set up the stream because I didn't do that. Yeah, I never know whose channel it's on. So, but yeah, thank you. Hello. Hi, everyone.
We are really like that video you sent of the friends where one, I swear, like one has the good memory and the other is the goldfish.
Yes, one has a good memory. The other one has a memory of a goldfish. I'm the goldfish, right? I am the goldfish. I sent that to Mara and I'm just like, it's you and me.
Yeah, it pretty much is.
We send each other reels just back and forth every single day. And I'm just like, look, that's me and you. This is me and you.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, I've got the memory of a goldfish. That would actually make a really cool t-shirt. So let me write that down. I'm still working on that booze, boobs, and booty t-shirt. Let's see. Goldfish memory. I don't know what the t-shirt should say. I don't know. That's what it should say. It should be just a picture of a goldfish with a goldfish saying, I don't know.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Or like,
just be me.
Like what's
I hope
going
you guys are having a good Sunday, everyone. Mara, how you doing, Mara?
So, I am good. I watched Ghostbusters Frozen Empire last night, so I will give my thoughts. And today I have D&D in the afternoon. And then I saw John in the chat. So I'm going to ask you, John, real fast. Is the last live stream for the Halo breakdown tonight? Because that's going to be interesting.
Did you forget? Did you not? Do you
not?
No,
I'm not on it, but I mod. So I haven't it's not up yet. So I'm like, is it up? Is it going to be tonight? But yeah, I did watch the new Ghostbusters movie last night, and yeah, I got thoughts.
Yep. I'm actually so I actually had a thought come to mind, right? I kind of want to change my channel name. I know it's my nerdy home, but I don't know. I kind of want to just be like, it's Stephanie. That's it. Just Stephanie. Kind of like how I have it on Twitter, just Stephanie instead of my nerdy home. I don't know. I kind of want to change it up a little bit, but I don't know how I don't know, like a rebrand or something like that. I don't know. I'm still thinking about it. Maybe it's too late, but I don't know. I don't know. But hello, chat. How are you guys doing? Andrew Thomas is here. I'm always here. Oh, thank you. Trey! I didn't like Ghostbusters, and I am ready for the cringe. What's up, Trey?
Yeah,
Mr. Bentham. Spirian! Hi, Spirian. I hope you had a great walk. Psychotic Mongoose is here. Gravy D. Corey, Stunning and Brave Megatron, member for 29 months. Look at that. Yeah. It is very rare. It is very rare that I have a green name in my chat. I would love for my entire chat to be green. It is very, very, very rare that I have a green name in my chat. But thank you for being a member for 29 whole months. It says, what's up, chicken butt? Hi. TD, my main mod. What's going on? Sultan is here. Hello, grifter. Yeah, I'm a terrible grifter. Very terrible grifter.
She doesn't even grift properly. She's got to work on
I just don't do it. Yeah, Mara's like, I don't use my body. I don't know. I just don't grift properly. I don't know how. Turn my chat green, okay? Just turn it green. Right?
Like basically, this is what you gotta say for like this many memberships or this many kick subs. I'll do this on stream. Like
I gotta work on that because I just don't know what to do on stream. All right. I just don't know what to do on stream. I'm thinking about like maybe doing some like cosplays, if I reach a certain goal. But like, hey, I think that's what I'm gonna start doing.
Do you have a throne? I know you have an Amazon wishlist, but do you have a throne?
It's
like Amazon wishlist, except it keeps your information anonymous. like your shipping information, and there's cosplay on that.
I am thinking. So. Oh, interesting. I am thinking about doing some cosplays. So maybe, perhaps, I will
cosplay. Talk nerdy. We got to do that.
I think so. I'm thinking about doing that. I'm thinking about doing some cosplays. John Connors, what's up, John? Soul, hi, Soul. How you doing? Well, the new Ghostbusters did great in the first week at the box office this week, despite being the last Jedi of Ghostbusters movies. Tara Crystal, what is up? Looking good, both of you. Thank you very much. And I have had look. Tara Crystal sent me a what is it called? Like a humidifier type thing for my allergies, because they're terrible. It doesn't matter where I live. Okay, I can live in Florida, I can live in Texas, I can live in a brand new state. It does not matter. My allergies follow me. I'm just allergic to the air. Okay, I'm allergic to the air. It doesn't matter. It does not matter.
Steph is gonna have to live in a bubble like Bubble Boy.
I know. Yeah, he bought me it's an air purifier. I've had this thing running on high for the past 2 days, right? Because I haven't been streaming. I'm going to stream later on tonight. I was supposed to stream on Friday, and I didn't get a chance to. So I am going to stream later on tonight on Kick and Twitch. But I've had this thing running, and whoa, I'm just like, man, my eyes ain't itching, nothing. It's working. So thank you so much, Gravy D. I'm sorry, Gravy D. I was looking at Gravy D's name. Thank you so much, Tara. I'm so happy. Like, holy crap. Yeah, my eyes aren't itching. Like, it's working. I still have to take my allergy medicine. Like, don't get me wrong. I still have to take my allergy medicine because I wake up and like I'm just my face is just, but it's not as bad. Like, it's working. I'm not sneezing as much. So yeah, I love it. Thank you so much. It is helping. Iron Man, what's up? Mike Hill is here. Hi, everybody. Grotto Rabbit. You have memory of what? A goldfish. Goldfish pain like Bane. What's going on? Cajun Corey is here. What's going on, Cajun Corey? How you doing? So from now on, we'll call you Stephanie. It's a nice name. Well, it's my name. But I don't know. The artist formerly known as Minor. I know. I'm just thinking about it. I don't know. I'm here to bully, never to simp. Aw. I accept that. I'll take it. Steph or Stephanie works. Yeah, I just don't know. I'm thinking about it. I don't know if I'm going to do that. What's up, Steven? How you doing? John Connors gifted 10 my nerdy home members.
John is awesome.
Sub. Thank you so much for those 10 subscriptions, or gifted subs, not subscriptions. Thank you so much for the 10 gifted subs. I feel like I have to do something. Like, thank you. I appreciate that.
Oh, come on, Gordon. Don't you want to rev up your Harley? Vroom, vroom.
Maybe I'll do this cosplay, this Harley cosplay. That would be fun, huh? Ooh, I kind of like that idea. Thank you. Mara has a great mind with that suggestion. Ooh. Gravy D, member for 6 months. When there's something strange in the neighborhood, it's Mara.
Yeah. I never pretended to be normal at all in my life. Yes, in all honesty, what is normal?
You're not sniffing so much. I know, it's working. Heath Nation for $50. Thank you, Heath. I hope your ankle is okay. Sending love to the beautiful duo, Steph and Mara. Thank you, Heath. Thank you. Oh, damn! I want to watch that movie again. It's so good. Oh, look. MVP Maxfield is here. Hi, Maxfield.
He comes in just in time for the
room. Yeah. Did Ghostbusters Frozen Empire have too many characters? We're going to get into that.
Yeah.
We're going to get into that. All right.
Yeah,
Hi, Mr. Bentham. I think. And then over on Streamlabs, Spirian donated $25. Thank you so much, Spirian. I appreciate that. Thank you, everybody, for all of your support today. I really appreciate it. I am a terrible grifter, so I appreciate the fact that you guys send some money and support and all that stuff, and like the stream, please like it. Give your thumbs up. All right. All right. Look, we got to talk about Ghostbusters. Ghostbusters. Let me share an entire window here. Hang on a second. Which one do I need to share? Which one is it? Oh, it's this one. Is this one? There we go. Yeah. All right, look. Ghostbusters Frozen Empire scares up. Okay, $45 million box office opening. It's doing really well, right? It's doing really well despite all of the criticism. Look, there's Kate Middleton. We know where she is now. Despite all the criticism of it, the movie is doing really well at the box office. Doing good. What did you think about the movie, Mara? I'm gonna stop sharing.
I thought it was okay. I think they tried to do too much with the different subplots. It should have been primarily focused on the orb. And then maybe as like a subplot, the dynamic change with the family, because of the fact, like, basically in the previous movie, Paul Rudd played the science teacher who kind of started dating the mom. Now they're married, so he's like a stepdad sort of thing. That's like the only subplot I think they should have like at all focused on, because at least it would have added a layer to the movie. But it's like, okay, we have like the little girl like doing this over here, Ray Stantz and like his like, you know, group doing stuff over here. The brother feeling like, he's not taken seriously because he thinks he's an adult, and like, bull fucking shit, you're 18, you're not an adult, right? Sort of a situation, basically. So it's like that happening over there. The subplot with am I there? Like, do they call me stepdad, like dad, stepdad, or like Gary? Like it's and then it's just a little too much. A little too much. Should have been condensed, in my opinion. The humor just did not land. For the most part, in my opinion, especially from that. What's the actor's name? Kamal. The one who took the orb in to sell at Ray Stantz's shop for like $50.
I don't know his name, but yeah, the fire god or something.
Yeah, like Fire Master.
Master.
Yeah, remember Keymaster? No, we're changing it from Keymaster to Fire Master. Sort of situation. Like, the humor pretty much with them did not land, in my opinion. It felt like MCU level humor, where it's like, it's like they're missing Harold Ramis's touch in the writing with this film. And like Trey said, all Finn, his primary goal was just to drive the Ecto, the Ecto vehicle, basically. That's it.
Don Ranger Power says, I had fun seeing Frozen Empire. It's almost as perfect as Afterlife, but fun nevertheless.
It was okay.
I'm gonna be real, okay? I feel like there's a little bit of a split maybe with people. People love it and are comparing it to the cartoon, which I didn't watch. I didn't watch the cartoon.
I watched the cartoon,
the real Ghostbusters. A lot of people are saying it's in that like fun, I guess. I don't know. But I didn't watch that. I watched the movie. So I'm going strictly off of like the original movies, because we have the original characters here, right? It's supposed to be a continuation from those films. So that's what I'm going off of. Really quickly, Phil with a member message for 3 months. Yay, my favorite badass dude is live again. Thank you, Phil. That's what I'm going off of. Okay. I did not like this movie.
It's one of those movies where it has its moments.
I did not like this movie. I can see where people had fun with it and where people like loved it. There were a lot of callbacks. There's a lot of nostalgia in it. And, the main characters actually have something to do in this film, right? Like the older characters, they play a bigger role in this film. I still didn't like it. I just didn't like it. I thought that it was bloated with characters.
Well, I'm saying like there's too much is going on. Too much is
There's
going
a lot
on.
going on. There's a lot of subplots. The movie is too bloated, and with a cast of characters, already in there, right? There's a lot of characters that you're focusing on from the original movies and the new movies, and then now we're adding even more characters, right? We're adding even more characters with, like, when you go to the lab, there's even more characters there that you need to get introduced to and learn. It's a super bloated movie. And it was just not funny. It wasn't funny. They could have cut and then you had like a ghost, an extra character, another character in this movie that has a ghost for Phoebe. Like, she doesn't have any friends. This is like her new friend. And it was sort of like hinting at a ghost human lesbian relationship. It was so weird. It was the weirdest thing. I don't like the character of Phoebe in this film. I can't stand her, honestly. I can't stand her. I said earlier this morning that if you do not like the character of what's her name? Cassie in Ant-Man Quantumania, you shouldn't like this character either. She reminds me of that character in Ant-Man Quantumania.
Well, I can't compare the two because I never saw Quantumania, but I kind of agree with Trey. It's like his whole arc is, I was right the whole time, sort of situation. And it's like I get, like, it was about what I appreciated about her character in the first one is that she, like, she was on the spectrum. So she's very much kind of like her grandfather, Egon Spangler, in terms of, like, how she approaches problems, how she, like, views the world, things like that. And in this one, it's like they kind of remove all that from her, have her basically just be like, it's not fair, because, like, she was told, hey, you can't go on ghostbusting, like, jobs because you're only 15, right? You can't exactly do that. So it's a whole it's not fair aspect to her character, followed by, if you just listened to me the whole time, I was right. Like,
I don't like the whole I know better than my parents. I know better than you. Like, she completely insulted her mom.
Yeah.
And disrespected her mom in this movie. Everything in this movie that happens, right? The fact they get in trouble, all the destruction to city, that is all her fault. Like, it is all Phoebe's fault. The only thing that is not her fault is how they get the orb to the science lab. Everything else that happens is her fault. And it pissed me off, or it didn't piss me off, but it was frustrating to watch, like, at the end of the movie, her get a lot of praise for it.
Yeah.
And I'm just, for, like, saving the city. And I'm just like, she's cleaning up her mess. This is her fault. Like, it is her fucking fault. She won't listen to her mom and just completely get grounded, just grounded and sidelined because she is a child. She's 15 years old. She shouldn't, they're right. I hate to say it, but they're right. She shouldn't have this and be using all of this equipment. She is a child. Grown men in the original Ghostbusters movies were careful with this equipment because they knew what it was and what it was capable of. And, they're...
Yeah. Even in the original movie, like, even though the scene was done for humor, when they switch on the elevator back for the first time in the elevator, and like
in the elevator,
moves out of the way, he's like, this could go off at any fucking moment.
Yeah, literally, she has this proton pack. She has this proton pack on. She is a child using this stuff, right? And you see her having fun with it, right? But she's also causing a lot of destruction. She should not, they're right. She shouldn't be using this stuff, regardless of whether or not she's a Spangler and, a genius.
Mm-hmm.
She shouldn't be using this stuff, right?
Yeah.
So it really bothered me that she kept pushing back on that she wouldn't listen to her mom, that she insulted her mom and was like, the only reason you're even in Ghostbusters is because your last name is Spangler. Like, essentially telling her, you're a fucking idiot. That's the same shit
with you, kid. You're the only reason is because you're
telling her mother, like, you're a fucking child, you're a fucking idiot. You're not smart like I am. She's throwing it in her face. And that part really pissed me off. I'm actually glad that Paul Rudd used that opportunity to speak to her and tell her, like, you can't talk to your mother like that. So disrespectful. Like,
I appreciated that.
I appreciated that. but her character really bothered. It bugged the shit out of me. I could not stand it. I could not stand her character. Like I said, if you don't like Cassie Lang, because it's essentially the same type of character. Like, I'm right. I know how to do it. I know how to do these things. You know, I'm right. You're wrong. All those things. It was so frustrating watching it. And for her to be like, and thank God we had Phoebe here. Right. It's essentially telling the mayor or saying like she's going to continue ghostbustering, right?
And it's Walter Peck, who's really just there because, hey, remember this dickhead from the first movie who tried to shut them down? He hasn't learned anything in the past 40 years. He's still trying to shut them down. I love William Atherton. I love him as Walter Peck. But I'm like, they literally brought him in for the member berries, and he has not learned anything or learned anything, come to terms with anything in the past 40 years. His whole point of his character is, I'm going to shut you guys down. That's it. Mm-hmm. He's the mayor now. That's the difference.
Yeah. It was really frustrating. It was just so frustrating to watch this movie. And I went into it like wanting to enjoy it because I saw a lot of people on Twitter saying like, you know, don't trust the critics. Like, this movie is great. You're going to love this movie. So I was just like, okay, I'm going to like this. I didn't like it. Too many subplots, the film was so bloated, too many characters. I can't stand the main character, Phoebe, and she is the main character of the movie. Like, you follow her in this movie. I thought that I liked the story of the orb and
that should have been the
story behind it. I thought that was so interesting. I think that instead of, I think someone said it in chat, instead of like Phoebe and her little ghost friend, right? Instead of that, like, how about the grandma come back and we, you know, the fire master learn a thing or two from the grandma, and, you know, her telling him like, you know, this is your destiny, this is your inheritance, this is what we did, you know, things like that. Maybe that'll be more impactful. Instead, we have this little girl and wanting to separate herself from her body so that she can touch this ghost. Like, it's so ridiculous. And by her doing that, she ended up almost dooming the world because the demon got released from the orb. Like, get over it. You know, like, that's so stupid.
Yeah, I would have taken like the grandmother coming back basically to, because if you're going to have that fire starter character, like, it's at least an aspect of like a protector of the orb, pretty much.
Yeah.
Like, have like her come back and have this the fire starter character, fire master character grow, pretty much, so you can care about that character by the time the final battle happens. All like, basically all it is, hey, go off there and practice with the lighter controlling fire, which you don't see, pretty much, and like, you know, then you're going to participate in the final battle. And then Patton Oswalt's in this like for just a brief amount of time, just purely for exposition, which we could have gotten from the grandmother character. We could have gotten
it from the grandma. Yeah, we could have gotten something like that. Mm-hmm.
Like, this is okay. Like, you know, this is why I was protecting this orb. This is like and going into kind of the story of, the demon, whatever you want to call it itself, pretty much.
Because we saw at the very beginning of the movie. I mean, we saw the grandmother or someone, you know, from their lineage. Yeah, not the grandmother. What am I talking about? We saw someone from their lineage, you know, at the very beginning of the movie. So like, it could have been something. If this is a movie where Phoebe, you know, a ghost will apparate in front of Phoebe and have a conversation with her, let's have the grandma. I mean, you know, it is technically unfinished business, right?
Yeah, it is.
Because it's technically unfinished business because she didn't properly teach her grandson about his family and familial inheritance and what that means. So that could be her unfinished business, right? And once her grandson steps into his role at the very end and helps defeat the demon, then she's the one that can go away, not this one random girl with a match.
And at least it would have been earned, basically, him helping like the final battle, like, you know, like basically coming into his own essentially as the fire master would have been earned, because we would have been kind of, with the plot of the orb, we would have been growing with that new character. So by the time the final battle happens, it's like we actually care if he's going to survive or not. I couldn't even give a shit at that point. I knew he was going to survive because like that's how it's going to work.
Yeah.
But at that point,
instead we got like Patton Oswalt and you know, Ray like looking at stuff and like, I know a guy. That really bothers me because that happened twice in this movie, I think. One when like he finds the thing and finds the markings on it, and he's just like, I know a guy. And then we see Patton Oswalt, and that's what Patton Oswalt's character. They go to because we have to go to the library, everyone.
Yeah,
we have to go to the library. The iconic library. We have to go there, right? We have to go there. Ray has to see the same ghost that he saw in the first movie. We just have to go to the library and have the
same guy working there who was worried about bringing them in the first place because of the librarian that was attacked. He's the same guy.
Yeah. So, and it's so funny that like they get to the library. Okay, that's where we get this whole exposition dump about the backstory of this orb and the protectors of the orb and you know, the guy's lineage. That's where we get it. Ray knows a guy. And so they go to the library. And what do you know? The same librarian or the person who runs the library is there for whatever reason, is outside waiting for Ray on the steps. And he's like, Ray, you're not allowed in here. You're not allowed in here anymore. For whatever reason, he's already outside. Like as if he was expecting them. I don't. And so, hey, look, remember this guy? Remember him from the movie? Here he is. And then they go into the library and like they talk to the guy. They get that exposition. That could all have been gone. Like you didn't need that. You know, I think that once the Fire Master like sells it to Ray, and then they take him somewhere. I don't know. But the grandma could appear. She could just be like, hey, I didn't want to appear before because, you know, whatever for reasons. But I mean, she could appear to Ray because he's used to that kind of shit, right? Like, I don't know. It's just so stupid. It's so and don't tell me. Do not tell me. All right. This pissed me off, right? This part pissed me off, honestly. Do not tell me that Ray, who studies the paranormal, he wants to live out his golden years doing this because this is what he loves and what he's passionate about. And you see that, you know, in the first couple of films, how, you know, he is interested in all of this stuff. It is his passion. That he would take this mysterious orb and explain to, I don't even know his name in the movie, but I'm going to just call him the Fire Master. Explain to the Fire Master that what is in here, it has to be one of the most demonic things, right? He's explaining this to the Fire Master. Okay. It's so rare. There's so much energy that it busts the PKE meter. It breaks it. All right. Shit shakes around him. You mean to tell me that after all of that, he's just going to like take it with a doll and like a basket of stuff and just be like, here you go.
Yeah.
Just nonchalantly like throwing it to the scientists over at Winston's lab, right?
Like, at the very least, he would have brought it and like, I'm going to study it here because
I want to study it here. I want to be involved in, you know, looking it up, looking at what is in here. He would be it would be piqued, right? Yeah. He would want to know about it, but no, it was just so like, here, take that. Oh, be careful with that. Almost like a joke, you know, like be careful with that. No, it would. I don't think that Ray would do that. All right, I don't think that Ray would do that. Honestly,
he wouldn't just leave it. He like if you're gonna have callbacks to the first movie, then like in the first movie, he and Spangler were the ones that basically had their noses in books, looking up information on Zool, on Gozer, and everything. They were the ones actually studying the history and the mythology of like, you know, like the name Dana Barrett heard. So he'd be the one basically bringing books. So like he would maybe take it to the like lab, and the only time he would leave is to go back and get books and bring the books over and like, you know, pour through the pages and like and try and figure out like what this thing is. Like because he knew the language essentially. He couldn't read it, but he knew like kind of like where it stemmed from. So he could have a starting point there and then pour over the research and say, this is what I'm able to find. And then you would have the grandmother character as a ghost kind of filling in whatever blanks he couldn't figure out because like he can only see so much information, but she knows the lineage side of why they're protecting the orb.
Yes, exactly. If you have to go to the library, if you have to have that library scene, don't just have him go and I know a guy. Oh, we have this expedition dump. Have him go and like research on his own.
Yeah.
You know, let him do the research. Let him find what he needs to find. And if you have to have the library scene, then maybe instead of having the library ghost that we saw in the first film, right, that she's still there for whatever reason, she's still there. Instead of having that callback, have the grandmother appear there in the library with, to Ray.
Yep.
The library is already known for having supernatural activity or whatever because of the library ghost, right? The lady is still there going shh. She's still there going shh. And she even like scares Ray for no reason. Like it was so weird, but whatever.
Yeah, I don't. That was weird.
And for Ray to get scared again at the same ghost. After all these years, he gets scared.
After 40 years, he's like still scared of that.
He's still scared of the same ghost after ghost busting for years and then, retiring and still being interested in the paranormal. At least like back then, right? It was still brand new to him. So it makes sense that he's scared of this ghost.
Yeah.
But for him to still be scared of this ghost, so it's so off. I think it was just, again, just a way to have like, oh, remember the ghost? Remember how Ray was scared? He's still scared, guys. But if you have to go back to the library and have that scene, then have it make sense within the story. Have the grandmother come back, because I think that like the grandmother can have unfinished business, right? If that's the thing that we're going with, that these ghosts, the reason they're around is they have unfinished business, and you get that whole stupid subplot with the teenage girl and Phoebe that I don't care about it. I don't care. I found it very boring, honestly, whenever they were on screen together, whenever they were having their conversations. It was boring. It was very boring. It would have been more interesting if it was the grandmother, who had unfinished business because her grandson wasn't paying attention. And he even said, like, she might have told me I wasn't paying attention. His character was
like got passed off as a joke pretty much. But like but you dropped that as part of the script. Like, well, hey, like maybe, like you said, have the grandmother be a spirit and trying, basically saying, okay, like you weren't paying attention when I was alive. You're going to pay attention now. Sort of situation. And like, because now you can't get rid of me. I'm going to basically make sure, because this is your inheritance. This is like, like I tried to impart this on you while I was alive. You didn't listen to me. And now you're like going to listen. You're going to listen to me. And this is why I had to protect this orb. This is why this has been passed down in our family. This is like why you have certain abilities.
Yeah. And also, okay, so there's that. The grandson, his character.
That was the MCU level humor that I did not like in the movie.
It was MCU level humor, but he couldn't take anything seriously.
No, it's like everything was a joke to him.
Everything was a joke to him. I understand, like it would have been. It was humorous, right? Especially when he was pawning his grandmother's things. I found it funny. He's like, oh, because he doesn't know what it is, right? So it was humorous in that scene, right? He's like, oh yes. He sees how interested Ray is in the orb, right? Oh yeah, that's why I'm asking 50. And then his price kept going up, right? So that was humorous. I thought that was good. That was a good scene because he doesn't know what this stuff is. He never paid attention to his grandmother when she would talk about anything. So that was good. And then it was like the same thing over and over and over. At some point it got old. When he finally, like, again, without his grandmother being there or like people really nudging him, because he learns all of the fire stuff off screen. And all of like he's scared of everything essentially, and like all of the heroicism is all of his growth happens off screen. When he finally like steps into his role, which it comes out of nowhere, honestly. And he puts on the armor of the fire. What are they called again? Masters. He puts on the armor of the fire masters again. Why is the armor there? It's just there with him at the firehouse, sitting next to him. And he slides down the pole.
Very awkwardly,
very slowly. And everybody's just watching him slide down the pole.
Meanwhile, the demon is there that could easily freeze everyone in place.
And even the demon is watching him slide down this pole. Like everything stops because he's slowly sliding down this pole. And this happens.
That was cringe.
Yes, it was. And this happens after, right? This happens after this demon randomly goes into a vape smoke shop that is labeled as Fire Master and kills the guy who runs that shop just because it says Fire Master. And right, so this is after that. So we know that this demon knows who the Fire Masters are, and he is ready and willing to kill them. All right. Yeah. So he sees this man sliding down the pole, dressed in the armor of the Fire Masters who captured him in the orb before. And he just sits there and watches him slide down this pole. Not only that, but he continues to watch him as he awkwardly puts as he awkwardly says, his line, "I'm here to crush you," or whatever he says, and then he can't get his lighter to light because he used up all the lighter fluid.
Yeah.
And the demon
told me to practice. Oh, that's funny. Everybody's now on the lighter fluid.
Watching him. He's just watching him.
Yeah.
Keep in mind, he already killed a man because he thought this man was the Fire Master. And now he sees the actual Fire Master and he calls him the Fire Master. And he's just watching him awkwardly try to light this lighter.
That's where I was like, yeah, I was like checked out of the end scene.
So I don't know. People are saying that this is in the realm of like,
but it shouldn't be. I mean, I enjoyed
so that's why they like it, but I
enjoyed the cartoon. All right, I enjoyed the cartoon. I enjoyed the cartoon spinoff from the original series. So it's like just for.
And the demon just froze the lighter. He just froze the lighter. He takes it and he freezes it and breaks it. He doesn't kill him. All right. The shop owner that he killed, he immediately killed him when he's like, "Is this the Fire Master?" Whatever. He's like, boom, dead.
Yeah.
But no, he doesn't boom dead kill this man immediately. He
was obviously the Fire Master.
He's obviously the Fire Master. He just breaks the lighter as if he even knows what this lighter is.
The thing is, I enjoyed the cartoons, but this should not harken back or feel like the cartoons. If you're going to harken back to the original movies, then it needs to feel essentially in tone to the original movies, pretty much. Like, like Trey pointed out, Ghostbusters 1, it had comedy in it, but it took itself seriously at its core. This one, it did wherever the scene was that there was like tension, which would have been good built up tension, was immediately undercut by a joke. It didn't take itself seriously. Like, I'm saying, I don't want it to feel like the cartoons. The cartoons I enjoyed, but keep the cartoon series as the cartoon series. I don't want to watch a movie and think the cartoon series. I want to watch the movie and think the original Ghostbusters movie, which is what you're harkening back to, which is what you allude to in the whole fucking film, pretty much. That's what I want to feel, not the cartoon.
Yeah. Another thing, like the little mini marshmallows. Yeah,
they were so popular. Let's have like a little baby.
They were popular. That's why they were in the film. There's really no other reason for them to be in the film other than people liked them in the Afterlife movie. They're just in there just because. They're just because they're just in there just because. Another thing. Oh God, I just totally blank. Here's what I did like. There was something that I did like, and Paul Rudd's character is one of the characters that I didn't like in the first movie. I don't know why it just didn't fit. I liked his storyline. I didn't mind that subplot in the movie, right? There were times in the movie where he's acting like he did in the first one, and it's just like he's there for jokes. He's like the joke, person to like deliver the jokes. He's doing that again in this one, but I like the reason. There's actually a reason for it now, right? He's trying to like do some humor, and he's trying to like bond with
this is the
kids.
subplot they said like they should have focused on. In terms of the family, like the different family dynamic.
I like his character because he's trying to like integrate himself into this family, and he has this essentially like his stepdaughter in Phoebe and the son, and they're like, all trying to be like a family unit. And he's trying to integrate himself into this family as the best way he can. And the best way he can is to use humor. And I like that he did get serious at one point, especially when Phoebe, talked back to the mom, because even the mom was like, "You couldn't back me up there." And he's like, "Do I have your permission these are your kids. I don't want to overstep. And so she gives him permission. I like that he stepped in and became a father-like figure, a disciplinarian to Phoebe when she was just respecting the mom. And then that was paid off at the end when Phoebe called him dad. And you saw like he was celebrating at the end, running to the car. So I liked that. I liked that aspect, that subplot of the movie, because it had to do with the main characters, right? The main characters of the movie. And there was sort of like this little arc for Paul Rudd's character. I don't know his name. I don't. That's the thing.
Gary something.
I don't know any of these characters' names. I don't know. The only character I know is Phoebe, and it's because the mom, honestly, kept losing Phoebe. Where's Phoebe? Where's Phoebe? She kept losing Phoebe. And I'm like, Jesus, this kid is a teenager. It's not like she's a little kid, right? Like in The Walking Dead, they kept losing Carl because he kept wandering off.
Oh yeah.
But this is a grown-ass teenager, and she kept losing her daughter. Where's Phoebe?
Yeah.
Where's Phoebe? That's the only reason I remember her name in the movie, is because the mom was always like, Phoebe, where's Phoebe? Where did Phoebe go? What did Phoebe do now? Phoebe's only 15. Phoebe, this is your fault. Phoebe. People kept yelling at Phoebe because, she was doing a lot of shit she shouldn't have been doing in this movie. That's the only reason I remember. I don't know the mom's name. I don't know the son's name. I don't know Paul Rudd's character's name. The only character I know is Phoebe, and it's because they kept saying her name over and over. Oh, that's right. Oh, okay, his name is Trevor. His subplot was trying to catch Slimer,
which was like could have easily been removed and changed nothing about the entire movie.
Slimer just couldn't.
He fails anyway. He fails anyway. He doesn't catch Slimer. So
he doesn't catch Slimer. His whole thing is, I'm 18 now. I'm an adult. And the mom, that scene was so annoying when he asked his mom for help, right? Because he's still at home. And if his mom's going to treat him like a child when it's convenient for her, and then treat him like an adult again when it's convenient for her, that part like really just irked me. It like rubbed me the wrong way when he goes and tells his mom like, hey mom, there's a leak, and she's lying on the couch looking at her phone, and she's like, you're 18, right? You deal with it. I was like, ew, gross. I
mean, if there's a leak in the building, that's actually adult business. So it's like, I
know, like what's he supposed to do? Oh, he's 18, let me just miraculously learn how to fucking fix a leak? Like what?
I was like, that's like, if he said like, I heard a noise or something like that, I'm not saying that would have made the scene any better, but then it would have made sense for her, like, if you think you're an adult, go check it out sort of a situation, kind of a thing. But a leak, that's something where it's like, okay, I'm the mom, I gotta call a plumber.
Yeah. Oh my god, I did not like that. I was like, ew, that's pretty.
No, Rick Moranis was not in this movie. I did not die unless I missed him because I was kind of zoning out at times. So he was not in this film.
Rick Moranis, no, he wasn't.
He did.
He said, Steph, that's what parents do. You're old enough when they need you to be, and too young when it suits them. Yeah, but it was just, it didn't feel right. It was such a gross scene. She's like on the couch doing nothing, right?
Yeah. Rick Moranis like basically.
But his subplot was like he wanted to drive a car and he needed to catch Slimer, which you can just take Slimer out of the movie. Slimer didn't have to be there. I get it. He's a part of the Ghostbusters franchise and one of the faces of it. He could have shown up in a different way. Like he didn't have to be. It was so weird. Like he's just living in the attic of the firehouse. And I guess like they sort of like they sort of make it seem like there's rats or something because someone is getting into the food, right? But it's actually Slimer. It's not rats. Like, but it was so dumb. Like you don't have to do that. He doesn't have to be there. He's literally living in the firehouse where they keep all of the spirits, like all the ghosts that they've captured.
Yeah, like he's somehow eluding them by living under a pile of clothes or like food bags. He's like food bag bags.
He's living under a pile of food that he's eaten. It's kind of dumb. It's kind of dumb. I didn't like it. It's like, oh well, whatever. I guess okay. Slimer's here. He has to try and capture Slimer, and he doesn't do it because Slimer never gets captured. Right? He's like the ghost that doesn't ever get captured. He doesn't capture Slimer.
He is technically captured in the first movie, but like ever since the first movie, he's just like never captured again.
Yeah.
So
he just wanted some hot dogs. Like he doesn't need to be there. Maybe his cameo is that, you know, he's somewhere else, like he's eating trash, and you know, you just kind of see that him as all of like the ghosts are released from the containment unit or something. Like you just see him. He didn't have to have his own subplot with the brother trying to capture Slimer. Like that didn't need to happen. I don't know. It was just like, it was just so, again, and he was just in there because remember.
That's why that's like what I was telling Orange Chat, where it's like I don't mind nostalgia because like basically the last movie and this movie is kind of built on nostalgia for the previous, well, the first two films, pretty much 1984 and 1989. I want to say, like, you know, basically Ghostbusters and Ghostbusters 2. I get that there's going to be nostalgic elements in an Afterlife and in Frozen Empire. What I don't like are member berries, and that's what I feel like this movie's banking on, is member berries, not like nostalgia. There's like, oh, you remember Slimer, right? You remember the library, right?
I feel like you can do that if you have those in there. You can do that in a way that still services the story. Slimer's subplot with the brother, it just doesn't service the story. It's just there because they need Slimer. They have to integrate Slimer somehow into the movie. So let's just have the brother try and capture him. Right? It's just there. There's no really, it doesn't really service the movie because there's really no payoff for the brother either. You know, with that, he doesn't learn anything. There's nothing really with that. It's just in there because we have to have Slimer in the movie. I'm all for nostalgia. I'm all for nostalgia bait. I'm all for it. Give it to me. I want to know. I want the
properly. Feel. I'm fine with it. Like the library would have been good nostalgia. Like having Ray,
it just has to have a purpose. There has to be a purpose for it. Yeah.
Like that would have a purpose. Nostalgia, like, you know, this of seeing the lion, seeing the outside of the library would have invoked positive emotions from the first movie, and like you would have had Ray doing research down in that, like, you know, like same area. So you're like, oh, I remember this feeling of like, you know, seeing them go through those stacks and things like that of the first movie. But like that's proper nostalgia. When, like, you know, if it was like Ray doing it, but then you had the exposition dump where it's like then the library just becomes member berries. You remember this guy, right? He was in the first movie. You remember this location, right? You remember this ghost? He was in the first movie. That's where it's like they can't figure out how to properly do nostalgic elements.
Like what's his character? The character that Ray goes to, Patton Oswalt character in the movie. He didn't need to be there. You can remove that whole character. He didn't need to be there. Let Ray do his own research. Right? That's why we love Ray. He's very interested. He wants to research everything. Let him do his own research. Let him find it. Let him find the answers. Because that's a payoff for that character. Right? Not going to someone, having it explained to them.
Yeah.
Like and in that way you can still have the library. Right? You can still go to the library and visit the library. You can even have the same person there who was outside saying you can't be there. You can even have him have a conversation with Ray. He didn't have to tell him to leave or anything like that, like he did in this one. But you can even have him like just like being there and looking at Ray like, you're not here because we have a paranormal situation, right? Like,
that would have been good. Because like I'm like wondering, why are they banned? They didn't destroy the library. They just ran out of the first movie. It's not, we never saw anything where they went back to the librari and destroyed it.
And the ghost is still there.
Yeah, I'm saying, but like why is he banned? It just didn't make sense to me. Because all they did was run out. They got scared and they ran out.
Yeah,
that's the last you saw of it. So yeah, maybe technically they didn't do the job they were kind of hired for, but they didn't destroy the library either. So it's still standing. So it's like, why is he persona non grata at this library? It makes no sense.
No, it doesn't make any sense. Another character that I want to talk about. Really quickly, let me get through some of those super chats and then we'll continue on with the Ghostbusters conversation. C-Train for $5. They should have cut the whole ghost lesbian relationship and ran with India grandmother ghost warrior. They really didn't need to have that one ghost.
Yeah.
in there because like it's already established off camera somehow. I don't know. Somehow it's established that the orb can communicate with the ghosts, right? The marshmallow kids or the marshmallow little tiny people are scared of the orb. They run away from it. They learn that it can communicate with ghosts, with spirits, even when inside of the orb. Okay. Somehow, we don't even know because all of this happened off screen. The entity, the demon inside the orb promised this girl that he could open up the other side and she could go be with her family, right? Because she can't do it because she has unfinished business. She can't do it on her own. And she wants to be reunited with her family. So all of that happened off screen. All of that was explained to us in the movie. And it was dumb. It was boring. You could have the same, even you can have an even bigger impact if it was the grandmother as a ghost, because she has herself, she should have unfinished business because her grandson has no idea what his inheritance is. He's giving away this orb, right? Mm-hmm. that she built in her built in her life, in her house, in her apartment, this copper lined,
so like something copper lined,
like copper lined thing, secret room with all of these inherited things, right? The armor, the horns, all of these things, and the orb at the center. She built this whole thing to protect this orb. She should have come back when the grandson gave away this orb and found that room, right? Maybe her spirit is still kind of like guarding this orb, right? And then the grandson finds the room, takes the orb, and she's like, oh no. Yeah. Right? Because she still has unfinished business. She still has to guard the orb because the grandson has no idea what he's doing. He has no idea about this room. He has no idea about anything. So her unfinished business could still be like, I still need to guard this orb, right? And then he finds it, he takes it and gives it away. And the grandma could be the one doing, if you have to have all that expedition jump, let her do it.
Yeah.
There's no, and she could be the one. Imagine she could have been the one to warn them, like, hey, I can hear him. He is speaking, right? Because he can control the ghost. Like he is speaking to the ghosts, and maybe she gets controlled by him because he can control spirits. And the grandson has to save her by becoming the fire master. He has that motivation because he doesn't know any of these people. His only motivation is to basically save himself.
Yeah, right? Pretty much. Which is like,
but maybe that's his motivation. That could be the inciting incident that really sets him off to become the fire master. He has to really master this because his grandmother has been controlled by this demon, right? So he has an investment in this.
Yes.
I don't know. Like the whole lesbian ghost thing was stupid, right? And it was boring. It was just another character that we had to learn, and we had to learn her backstory. Like it was
not care about because she's no more, pretty much.
And not care about. Like I didn't really care about her. I was just like, okay, oh no, she betrays Phoebe. They were friends for like 2 days.
Yeah,
they were friends for like 2 days. Who cares? She's like crying and taking it to heart. Seriously, friends for 2 days, and she's ready and willing to give up her spirit, separate her spirit from her body in order to be with this person, this girl. It doesn't make any sense. Yeah, it makes no sense. It would have been more impactful if it had been the grandmother, because they have a history. The grandmother raised this boy. You know, it would have been more impactful had it been the grandmother as the ghost, as opposed to this other ghost that she's known for 2 days. And it's just, it makes no sense, honestly. No sense at all.
Pretty much. Yeah.
F that. We need a gay ghost story.
Yeah, obviously.
Put a ghost in it, make her lame and gay. It was so lame and gay. They set up a backstory for the flaming ghost girl, but they never explained how she died. Yeah, they didn't. They didn't explain how she died. Her motivations were weak, very weak, very, very weak.
Yeah, she said she died before the flames basically consumed or damaged her body, so that's why she like doesn't look like she's like basically burnt or anything.
Yeah, that's why she doesn't look burnt. That's why she's not burnt. She's like, so
But
she
then again, like
basically
how did the fire? Okay, if
she
you're gonna
basically died from like maybe smoke inhalation. I don't
yeah,
know.
but like this fire also killed her family, so it's like how if you're gonna introduce this, how did the fire start? Why did she?
Yeah.
Why did she even have unfinished business? She's a teenager. I'm like, why is she even stuck here?
Mm-hmm.
Like she should have been one. She should have been one of the first ones to move on because like what unfinished business could she have? It made absolutely no sense.
Yeah. C Train for 5. Also, the main ghost should not have been all CGI and should have practical makeup when doing close-up shots. Yeah, she was all CGI. I didn't mind that, honestly. I didn't mind that. If you're gonna show a spirit and an entity, that's fine. Like I didn't mind her being all CGI. I didn't mind that, but she just didn't have to be in the movie. She didn't have to be in the movie. No. Like make it more impactful. Have it be the grandma, right? She just didn't have to be in the movie. Mike has bad news for $2. Hi, Steph from My Nerdy Home and the spicy Miss Jade. Hi.
Hello.
C Train for 10. That's exactly what I was implying with Grandma Warrior. She could have even possessed her grandson in a funny way, but also taught him everything he needed to do. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not against having humor in these movies because like, the first movie had humor. It took itself seriously, but it had humor. And like there could have been a humorous moment where she possesses her grandson to teach him.
I think they even mentioned that, right? Because Phoebe mentions like ghosts possessing someone said it, right? Because they were talking about how like they have possessed objects. Those are the things that Ray sends to Winston's science lab.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Yeah. He finds these possessed items, and they have this unit in the science lab that will take the possessed item and essentially suck the ghost out of it and move it into another unit. And that unit is attached to, what is it? A trap, a ghost trap, essentially. And the ghost trap sucks the ghost from that space, and
it basically is like a more powerful
another containment unit, and puts it in another containment unit, right? And when they were talking about that, I think someone mentioned, can ghosts like possess a human? They mentioned human possession. I think it was Phoebe actually who said something about human possession, like what about ghosts possessing people? Have you tried separating it from a person? And when she said that, I thought, oh, okay, they're setting up ghost possession, which never happens. Like it doesn't happen. She just asks. I think that was meant to set up her separating herself from her body, her spirit from her body. I think that's why maybe she asked that question. But I honestly thought that they put that in there because maybe the girl ghost was going to possess Phoebe at some point in time, but that never happens. So I don't know why that question was asked.
It was more like I want to be able to touch my new friend, so I'm gonna kill myself by like removing my spirits just so I could do that. I'm like, what?
It would have been nicer. It would have been cooler if and that would have been humorous. Like the grandma ghost is trying to teach the grandson how to be doing the fire stuff, and he gets frustrated or something. And she's like, "Oh, let me show you," and she possesses him and shows him how to do it. That would have been funny, but and it would have explained away the possession that can actually happen to person, right? You can separate a spirit from a human or whatever. But no, she just wanted to, I just want to kiss my ghost girlfriend that I've known for 2 days.
Yeah.
That I'm totally in love with and I've known for 2 days. Another thing that I want to talk about was Peter Venkman. I mean, he was in the movie. Bill Murray was in the movie. And again, he's in there because I know a guy, right? I know a guy. They pretty much send the fire master person to Venkman. And for whatever reason, Venkman already knows that can control flames and fire because they have like a Bunsen burner on behind him, and he's purposefully making him angry so that way he can see the fire.
I think I'm not trying to defend that scene, but I think like the first time was an accident. Like he was trying to get a reaction from the guy, so he like throws his pen at him, kind of like how like Venkman normally does whenever like But then he noticed the flame just
Why would the
burst.
Bunsen burner be on though? Why would
I know.
it be
I'm
always
saying it's
on?
like it's like that like it's like, I'm not trying to defend the scene.
Yeah.
But when Venkman noticed the first time, that's when he started like throwing the pens at the guy to see if it would happen again and again. But again, like if what would have made sense if like the Bunsen burner had been on underneath something that was boiling,
Yeah, it
like
was
a
just randomly
or
on.
something. It was just
randomly on, which made me think that, okay, well, he knows something about this character. Maybe he knows that he can control fire, which is why he's trying to get him angry or make him upset or frustrated. And he looked at the fire. He kept looking. He kept looking. He kept looking. He kept looking at it. So it was like, okay, well, he obviously knows about it, but how? Why? Is that something else that took place? Is that a conversation that's cut out of the film or took place, off screen or something? Like he already knows.
Like if Ray had done the research and said, I learned of
exactly.
I learned
if Ray
of
had done
something
the
called the
research
Fire
and told
Master. Let's see
Venkman.
if this is like let's see if this is like real. Like try to get a reaction from him and see what had happened, sort of situation.
Exactly. But it's like he already kind of knows, so he's just sort of trying to make him upset. Also, the scenery, okay? Bugged the hell out of me. I get it. These movies took place in the 80s and, the technology that they had was whatever they could create. I get it. I totally get it. But it's not the 80s anymore. Clearly, we were very separated from the
40
80s.
years separated from the first.
Yeah, we were very separated from them. They would have had to have learned some new technology, especially if they're not retired or whatever, right? They would have had to have learned something, okay? Some new technology. Clearly they can, because Winston has evolved. I mean, he runs this whole lab, he's taken some notes and hired people and created a brand new lab. Venkman has old ass computers, still on, by the way. And he's wearing the thing around his head, because remember the thing they wear around their head? Remember the
we had to make a joke about it, like calling it a pasta
strainer?
Yeah.
He's wearing that around the head. They never improved it. They never improved on that technology. It's still plugged into an old ass computer.
The same one from 1984 that shows the thermal imaging to see if there's like this guy is possessed or not. Like much like what they did with Louis Tully and Dana Barrett in the first movie.
Yeah. Why they would not have improved upon that technology as they continue to bust ghosts, because they were the Ghostbusters and, they did it for a while. It even explains it at the beginning of the movie, right? New York City loved them. Why would they not invest? Why would Ray and Spangler not improve upon their technology? You would think that they would. But they didn't. They're still using the old tech. That kind of bugged me. I get the PKE reader.
PKE, yeah.
Yeah, I get that, right? That why it already works, right? I get that. That is something that maybe a little minor tweaks on it, but the design is still the same. Whereas this, he still has a strainer. He even jokes about it being a strainer. He's like, I have a
pasta strainer on my head.
I have a pasta strainer on my head. Like the dude even like jokes about it. I have a pasta strainer on my head. Why would they not improve upon that technology? That kind of bugged me.
Yeah, it's like I said, like, it's like nostalgia is one thing, member berries is another thing, and I just felt like this was like it was more member berries than nostalgia.
It would have been cooler. It would have been cool. Like, oh my gosh, that's the thing, but it's like an updated version of it. Like, right? Like it could have been.
I'm saying like I said before, like nostalgia when done properly, it evokes positive emotions and evokes positive memories, and when done properly, it can work within the confines of the plot, even though it's like 40 years past, after the events of the original movie. It just feels like we're gonna like put this in here for a joke and and like basically the member berries.
Right.
It reduces that to nothing more than a joke scene during that little back and forth between the Fire Master and Venkman's character.
Yeah, it just bugged me. Like, Why would he have all that old stuff behind him? And I think he's even I can't even remember where that scene takes place. Are they in Winston's lab or where
I think
are
they're
they?
in Winston's lab. I think they're in
They're in
Winston's
Winston's
lab.
lab. So Winston's lab just randomly has this whole set piece with the old computers and already like on.
I don't know. I have no.
All of this old 80s stuff is just like in this office, and the rest of the lab is
where he's trying to
updated.
bring them into the 20th. Where he's trying to bring them into the 21st century. He has like 20th century
lab.
technology.
So they have like one room with like all of this old stuff in it, I guess, and everything else is updated except for this one set piece. It's just a set piece. It's all it is. It's a set piece for Venkman to come in and have that scene. The rest of the lab is completely upgraded and everything. I wouldn't mind slightly updated versions. I wouldn't either. It would have been the same thing, right? It would have been the same thing, had the same impact, but it would be updated. We would have known that the Ghostbusters had a life, had a history of fighting ghosts, so much so that they had to upgrade their equipment. Like that would have been awesome. Talking about on the same topic of
would have made sense. Basically, update with the times. Like if you're going to continue busting ghosts, then you're going to, as technology improves, then you'll use that improved technology to help capture the ghosts or study them or what have you.
There are some things that can't get improved upon, right? Like the proton packs. They're perfect. They're perfect. They serve the purpose. The ghost traps. They don't need to improve. They can improve on it. We saw Phoebe do it in this film. They can improve upon the proton packs for whatever they need to do. And they were improved from the first to the second movie, I believe, even in the original Ghostbusters films, to make them like lighter or something like that. I can't remember. So they were improved upon, and they kind of improved upon them in this movie too. At the very last, Winston came because all their stuff got seized, I think. And I think they had they even say ooh, new proton packs or something like that. I'm pretty sure they got improved on in this movie. Yeah. But like brain scanners, things like that, you would think that they would improve that stuff, like use modern technology for brain scans. But they didn't. They had to go back with the pasta strainer. But anyways, keeping in line, I'm going to talk about this. Okay, I'm going to talk about that in a bit. I hate the way Venkman just showed up at the end, all suited up and ready. I didn't like it. You're going to have him in the movie. If you're going to have Bill Murray in the movie, keep him in the movie. Have him involved. Keep him involved, right? But no, for whatever reason, they say he's on his way. He's on his way, right? Because they're talking about the demon. He's on his way. It takes fucking forever to get there. He takes forever to get there. Okay.
I know it's New York, but it's not that big.
He takes forever to get there. I'm like, what is taking him so long? Can't ghosts? They establish in this movie that they can apparate.
Yeah.
Right? Because the girl ghost does it. She just disappears. Yeah. She apparates. It takes forever. He's like walking super slow to fucking get there.
Because we have to have that build up. This ghost like basically makes you freeze in fear. So we're gonna have that slow build up to get him to that.
But he also they think that he's there because he's knocking on the door.
Yeah, a ghost is going to knock.
He's knocking on the door, and everybody's ready, right? And Winston goes and he opens the door. He opens the door for the ghost, and it's nobody's there. Nobody's there, but Venkman just sort of slides in front. Hey, you guys need some help? I swear, when I was watching this, I was like, "That's not the ghost. That's Venkman. It's gonna be Venkman. Watch, it's gonna be Venkman." That's what I was saying in the movie theater. It's Venkman. There's no way that's not the ghost. It's Venkman. He's gonna show up because they have to have all the Ghostbusters fighting together at the end. So it's him. Yeah. Why doesn't he just he's just there? Just have him already be there. Just have him already be there in the firehouse.
That would make too much sense. You have to have the whole. Is it the ghost? Is it not the ghost?
Yes, it had way too many ghosts, but it's really is a crowded movie. It is such a bloated movie. Yeah, Venkman just shows up Like, just have him already be in the firehouse. Like, you don't have to have him show up already suited too. So like what? During all of this mess, all the ghosts are out, right? New York City is frozen right now. Frozen in July or something like that. I think it's like June or July. So it's like really hot. You have characters like already like, background characters saying like, oh, it's hot. It's so hot. And now it's frozen, and Bill Murray Venkman put on his suit, right? Put on his coveralls. I don't know, drove himself or had a taxi to the firehouse and shows up during this whole thing.
He would have had to walk. It's frozen. And he has a lightweight jacket on, and he walks in like it's like fall weather.
You guys need any help? Oh, I didn't like his appearance.
And I get that mic that was in the trailer, but the way they set it up would have been like it wasn't properly set up.
Like have him already be there, or just not have him be there at all, or something. Like he doesn't have to show up like that. Like I don't know. Also, all right, we're at the very end of the movie, right? Phoebe asks Ray about how they protected the orb or whatever with copper or something like that, and it's copper.
Yeah, someone said brass in the chat, but basically, like, and they figure they use copper because copper does have, I think, brass in it or something like that. Like whatever it is that they had there would have had like brass in it so that they could use to add, but it's like.
And so she's like, he goes, yes, but we don't have anything like that here or something like that. And then she was like, well, what about this metal, right? It's basically the stuff for the fire pole, whatever the fire pole is made out of. Brass. It's brass later. Okay, so brass.
Okay, it's brass later. Yeah, and it's copper, and brass has copper in it.
Yeah. So then she takes a bunch of stuff, a bunch of brass things, and all the while, mind you, this ghost is on his way. Like they have been warned. They are preparing for this ghost. Yet she has enough time to kind of take apart her proton pack, melt brass on the stove in a pot.
And she's somehow only able to melt enough for just her proton pack.
Yeah, it's just for her proton pack, right? So she lines her proton pack with this brass because she melts it, dips her stuff in it, it dries just in time. All of that. I imagine that would take hours. I'm sorry. I imagine that would take hours to do. But it doesn't. And they only have enough. Yes, she melts it on a stove in a pot. She melts just enough for herself. She doesn't tell anybody else about this, right? She just has this small, nonchalant conversation with Ray. She doesn't tell anybody else what she's doing because they all have proton packs, and she knows that they're useless against this demon. So she doesn't tell. Again, she's very selfish in this movie. She's very selfish in this movie. She doesn't tell anybody else that she's doing this upgrade.
No.
She just does it on her own because she wants to be a Ghostbuster and she wants to prove herself or whatever. But it's very selfish because her family.
The way to prove herself to be a Ghostbuster is to actually be a team player.
Be a team player on the Ghostbusters team.
Yes,
it's a team. It's not a unit of one, right? No. She doesn't tell anybody else about this. She does it herself to her own pack, and allows her family to get frozen before coming back and helping them. And
because she had to have like one last conversation with the ghost girlfriend, like you betrayed me, and I'm sorry, I just want to see my family. It's like, and tell her you're the only one who can do that. I'm like, because she had to have that conversation before she goes upstairs to actually help.
Yeah, she's very selfish in this movie. I can't stand how selfish she is in this movie. She's extremely selfish. You would think that she wants to be a Ghostbuster, be a team player, maybe tell everybody her plan, and
yeah, but somehow
if you're gonna like already melt this brass on the stove, dip everyone's.
You see, somehow this ghost can freeze the stream, like the proton pack stream, which in itself is not solid matter. But yet somehow this ghost can freeze it.
Yeah. It worked against an ancient Sumerian god, but not against this demon. The demon can freeze the streams, so they have no effect on this demon. And Phoebe knows this. She knows this because when she separated her spirit from her body in order to touch and possibly kiss her little ghost friend, the other character, who I have no idea what her name is, honestly. It's another character that I think we're introduced to. I don't even know if she was in the first film. But she's the brother's friend who has an internship.
I think she was introduced.
I don't remember her.
But like somehow she's working at Winston's lab now. So I'm like, okay.
Yeah, she's interning at Winston's lab. I don't know. But she had the proton pack and she tried to take down this demon and it didn't work. And Phoebe saw this. She saw that it doesn't work, right? She saw him and she knows that it doesn't work. These proton packs don't work against this demon. She knows this. But yet she didn't help them with their proton packs and also line their proton packs with copper, whatever.
Yeah.
So, she just saved it all for herself. She did it all for herself because she's selfish. She's selfish. But they made her the hero of this film for whatever reason. For reasons. They made her the hero. Kind of like Cassie Lang in Ant-Man Quantumania. She was very selfish, very annoying, very headstrong, and disrespectful. And no lessons were learned. She's just a hero. Congratulations. Also, being frozen has no effect on you. You're not dead. You don't have what is it when what is the thing that you get when you have your hand completely frozen?
You're talking about like frostbite?
Frostbite. You don't lose your hand or anything. You just get put in a sling.
Yeah, I thought like, it's like, like that. Like, he would have lost his hand.
He would have lost his hand. I mean, literally frozen, turned a different color. I was like, yikes, he's going to lose that hand. No, it's just in a sling.
It's just in a sling later
on. It's in a sling the next movie. The little girl who fights the ghost at the lab, she gets frozen. She's frozen. Okay? Like, they set this up. They said, I think Ray was the one who was talking about it, or someone was talking about this ghost and this demon and his powers, and the last thing that you see when you're being frozen is a teardrop like coming out of your eye. Like, they set it up. It's so eerie that it is the scariest thing. You never want to experience it. Almost every single character except for Phoebe in this film experiences that, and they're just totally fine. They're totally fine and unmelted.
Yeah.
Like, that girl gets frozen. She is frozen. They show her frozen and nothing. She's in the next scene. And she's not terrified by that experience. She is like, you would think that they set it up as one of the most terrifying things that you could ever experience.
It's literally
that girl
frozen.
Gets frozen. She experiences it.
In fear.
Nothing happens. She's totally fine. Nothing. She's totally fine.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, Kara. Like, it's nuclear power. Like, it's a particle accelerator. It's not physical matter or anything like that. So like this demon would not have been able to freeze the streams.
Yeah.
It made no sense.
It honestly reminded me of
I'm not even a scientist.
Batman
Yep.
It honestly reminded me of Batman and Robin.
Oh, I just watched that.
Where people get frozen and they just have to unfreeze them within a certain time limit and they're totally fine.
Yeah, I know. Never mind that all internal organs would have been shut down at that point, given how frozen the body is.
They're so fine after they're all frozen, no big deal. They just melt and they're able to, be okay by the end of the film. Stieg, hi there, Steph and Marg, you two little huggable sugar pies. I am willingly getting diabetes now just for you. Hi, Stieg. Oh my god, it really did. It's a cold day in Gotham.
So yes, Daniel, can't cross the streams, but they can be frozen. Yep.
Yeah. I was frozen today. Yeah. Totally fine. Like, I was frozen today. No big deal.
How was your day? Oh, I was frozen.
Ghost ice is different. Maybe ghost ice is different. All right, everyone. Chill. I just needed the villain to do ice puns. Yeah, sure. or hypothermia. Like nothing happened. That girl was just like, she's just frozen. And then in the next scene, I guess they unfroze her somehow. I don't know. She's just unfrozen somehow. Same with the family. Like they were unfrozen.
Yeah.
They unfroze. Didn't they unfreeze? Like after he dies, everything just melts.
Yeah, everything just melts. Like and then
everything just melts.
Yeah.
So stupid.
And everything's back to normal.
Everything just melts. No frostbite, nothing. Nada. Nothing. You're able to move, you're able to whatever. It was like you were just frozen without being frozen. Like so what's the point of the ice then, right? If you're just going to freeze them like in a moment, then why freeze them? What's the point of the ice if nothing's going to happen when they're unfrozen? You know, it's like just have them be like stuck, right? There's no point. Like maybe he has, I don't know. It's just so dumb. What's up, Tim? Hi, Tim. All right. Justin Martins for $5. Did they just rip off the possession love story from the first one in a gay way? Don't plan on seeing this one.
You're talking about the when you say first one, do you mean Afterlife when like when Paul Rudd's character and the mom were possessed, much like how Dana Barrett and Louis Tully were possessed, kind of a situation where it's like that kind of weird possession love story? Not really. Not really in that regard. It was more like, as Steph pointed out, it just made Phoebe selfish. More like
very selfish in this film.
It's like just more or less made her like just think about herself. All because she was mad that she was told she can't be busting ghosts because she's only 15 years old.
Yeah, the ones at the beginning fell apart frozen. They did.
Yeah. They did. Even after the demon was captured, they didn't melt. They just they busted apart.
Yeah, they busted apart. They didn't melt. The demon was captured and they didn't come back to life. They busted. They were frozen. They were dead. But our main characters, nope.
Can't have that.
They were frozen also. Phoebe saved the day and they opened the trap. You had the fire master guy shooting flames. And then they were unfrozen. Everything was unfrozen. Yeah. Oh yeah, that didn't make any sense to me, honestly. Why did they give Phoebe so much shit about destroying the lion statue? I guess she should have let it kill her. That was the one part where I was like, okay, she had to, right? She was put in a position where Ray has like this like motorbike,
this bike with
like,
a sidecar. Honestly,
I was like, dude, Hagrid's motorbike. Let's go. It's got all this stuff attached to it. But Ray has this motorbike, right, and it has an attached proton pack to it, just in case.
Yeah.
And so he's like, press the button, and they're like, which button? Which button? It's played for humor. You would have think that he would tell them specifically which button to press, but no, he just says, just press the button. So it's played for humor. They're trying to figure out which button to press, and they finally press it, and it's a proton pack or whatever. And Phoebe looks at it, and she's like, "Oh, okay." Like clearly the lion is coming to life. There are witnesses around seeing this lion be possessed and coming to life. And yeah, all she did was destroy the tail, right? She like blew the tail off of it. But there were a lot of witnesses around who could have been like, what was the lion came to life. It was going to kill Ray. Like, what was she supposed to do? Let him die? Was she supposed to let the lion attack her? They gave her so much crap. This is a city. This is New York. This is a city where they know about ghost possession. You call the Ghostbusters.
The only scene I would have been like, when I say fine with this, at least it would have made sense to the plot if she got shit for using the equipment when she wasn't supposed to, is when they went to that Greek diner, when she got the call after her
Yes.
Her like, and they go to the Greek diner, and like she busts out the window because she hesitates. Capturing her ghost girlfriend.
She did something. Yeah, she went against her mom, and she did something she's not supposed to. She's supposed to be benched, and she went out to the diner, right? And the ghost was like her ghost friend, or whatever. But she should have gotten shit then because she's not supposed to have this stuff, right? But no, she gets crap because she was trying to save herself and the people around her. Like, I can defend her there. She shouldn't have gotten that much crap, and not only that, but like you have Winston getting after her because like, why would you just destroy the lions? That's how we get kids into the lion. Kids love the lions. It's like, bruh, you are very well aware that you have that ghost, the ghost that possessed the lion was the one from your fucking lab. So you should be well aware
they can possess any inanimate
that
object.
Can possess shit, and that ghost possessed the lion. Why are you getting mad? You should know.
Why'd you kill the lion?
It makes no sense. Like, that part made no. Why are you getting upset? This ghost came from your lab. You should be more worried.
I'd be upset about that. How did this ghost escape? How did this ghost escape to possess the lion when my lab is all the way over here and the library is all the way over here?
Exactly. You should be concerned that the ghost escaped your lab. But no, let's get mad at Phoebe. Like, I will defend Phoebe in that lab,
but now has the chance that can bring the fucking demon ghost back to life. Maybe be concerned about that. The lion's tail can be fixed.
I know. Like, it made no sense. Like, why are you getting mad at her? You think that she just... Where's Ray? Where is Ray to defend this child? He should have told them, like, dude, the lion came to life. I almost died. She saved me. Right?
She saved me.
No.
I couldn't get to the proton pack because I had a lion about ready to crush me. So sorry. I told him to press the button.
The scene was so frustrating. Like, I was like, okay, I'll defend Phoebe in this instance, but it made no sense. Is there something missing? There's something
I don't know. It's like, I feel like
I should have honestly. Here, let me find something really quickly. I should have known what I was getting into.
So much left on the cutting room floor that it's like, if they like that would have made things made sense. Maybe. I don't know.
He must be afraid of the mayor. I don't know why he got so upset. I don't know. It was so weird. But at the very beginning of this movie, there was a quote on the screen, and it said, it was a quote at the very beginning of the movie. Some say the world will end in fire. Some say in ice. From what I've tasted of desire, I hold with those who favor fire. But if I had to perish twice, I think I know enough to hate to say that for destruction, ice is also great and would suffice. When I read that, I was like, oh no. That's how one of the Twilight movies started.
Oh God.
Yeah.
And I love Robert Frost as a poet. I love Robert Frost.
I think it was the third Twilight movie. Okay, it was the third Twilight movie. It started with that.
No, the poem itself is actually from Robert Frost. I love Robert Frost.
Yes, it is. The poem. It's a Robert Frost poem.
So it's like, but again, like that poem there mentioning fire and ice. Oh my God, bring the grandmother back. Have her teach her grandson.
Bring the grandmother back.
It would have tied into the fucking poem.
Is that some Twilight shit? Yes, that was at the beginning of a Twilight film, and I was just like, "Oh, that's what it reminded me." So I was like, "Okay."
Yeah. I'll admit this. I only watched the first Twilight movie, and you want to know what the scary thing was? Like, why I watched the first Twilight movie is because I've always been interested in vampires, and these two guys recommended the Twilight books and movie to me. They were. One was a Marine. One was a former Marine.
Oh, I think you've told me that before.
Yeah, 2 Marines recommended the fucking Twilight books to me.
It says gay vampires.
I was like, I'm noping the fuck out of this.
My best friend forced me to watch Twilight with her. So
yeah,
That's how I know that. That's how I got in. That's how I learned about Twilight. But yeah, when I I was reading that quote and I'm just like, all that's missing is Bella's voice reciting it. Like, it's just like, oh no.
Yeah. Oh, her emotionless voice. Yeah, that. The entire time I was watching that movie, I was like, I'm gonna smack you just to get an emotion out of you.
Anyway, they're entertaining for what they are. I mean, yeah. Now going back and watching them, sure. In the moment, I was like, no, why am I here? Overall, Ghostbusters Frozen Empire, I wasn't the biggest fan of it. A lot of people loved it. They said it was a callback to the cartoons. I have absolutely no memories of like watching the cartoons. I'm not emotionally impacted by those cartoons. I never watched them. I'm just basing my view of this movie on the fact that it is, continuation from Afterlife, and that is a continuation of the original Ghostbusters films. So, overall, I didn't like this movie. I didn't think it was good. A lot of people loved it. Audience score on Rotten Tomatoes is high, so clearly people are loving this movie. I wasn't a big fan of it. I wasn't. I didn't like it.
Yeah, like I said, I liked the cartoons, but the movie should not make you feel like you're watching the cartoons. It should make you feel like you're watching a movie, a continuation, post Afterlife, in the timeline of like beginning with the first movie from 1984. Those are the feelings that this movie should invoke. That nostalgia, pretty much, that timeline, not the cartoon.
Yeah, they're saying it's in the spirit of the cartoon, the Ghostbusters.
It shouldn't be, but like for me, it shouldn't be. It should be in the spirit of the actual movies. If you're going to harken back to 1984, like that timeline. So I'm like, for me, I'd give it like a 5 out of 10. It wasn't great. It wasn't complete shit necessarily, but I'm like, I'm not going to watch it again. I'm not like, unless it's on and there's absolutely nothing else on, I'll put it on the background and just not pay attention to it. Just have it on as noise, pretty much. That's where I would be with this movie. It's like middle of the road. You're not missing anything, in my opinion, if you don't watch it. Stop at Afterlife.
It's not the worst movie. Yeah, it's not the worst.
It's not the worst movie.
It could have been better.
What's disappointing is that it could have been better. Like there was so much there that if they had just removed some subplots, added another subplot that would have made sense to like an existing storyline, basically, it would have improved the movie. If you have. Yeah, Phoebe's a teenager, but did she have to act like a little fucking know-it-all and be right at the end of the movie? I'm like, no.
So audiences are liking it right now. It's at an 84% on Rotten Tomatoes. Critics hated it. It's at 43% for critics. I didn't hate this movie. It was just okay. Like I agree with Mara. It's like 5 out of 10. I didn't hate the movie. I thought that it could have been better. I think that it could have been better.
That's where
it was way too bloated with characters. It was way too bloated with characters. It reminded me of Jurassic Park Dominion, where you have the old cast meeting the new cast, and then you have also some new people thrown in this movie as well that you need to get to know. That's exactly what this movie reminded me of. You have the old cast with the new cast, and then there's more people coming in this movie or appearing in this movie that you need to know, and you need to know their backstories as well. So it was a bloated cast, way too many people,
way too bloated.
Yeah, with a bloated script, way too many subplots, some that were good, like the Paul Rudd one, I kind of liked it. Some that didn't need to be a thing, like the Slimer one with the brother, that didn't need to be there. 5 out of 10. It was
it's like if people who point like I'm only gonna say this for people who point out the overall positive score from user reviews on Rotten Tomatoes. I just want to point out that studios have been proven to pay for bots to pad those numbers, so even the user review scores cannot be trusted on Rotten Tomatoes. The only score you can trust.
Metacritic. Let me look at
really?
Metacritic.
Yeah, the only score you can trust really is you watching it and you judging it for yourself, pretty much. Like people who oh, user reviews 84%. But people loved it. Yeah, well, remember how Disney, for example, padded their numbers for certain movies with bots?
Mm-hmm.
What's to put it past Sony and other studios doing the same fucking thing on Rotten Tomatoes? And
yes, it's better. I like Ghostbusters 2 better. I like Ghostbusters 2 more than most people do. But yeah, it's better.
Of the sequels, it's better than the ones we've gotten recently.
Frozen Empire on Metacritic critics is a 46%, and users like audience is at a 5.6. So it's a lot lower on Metacritic.
Yeah, I'm just saying, it's like Rotten Tomatoes just can't be trusted overall entirely, both critic and user reviews, because of what we discovered Studio is doing with the user reviews. And Trace is still at 86%. It hasn't budged.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just saying, what's to stop other studios from doing the same thing?
It's not 2016 bad.
No, that movie I watched on cable.
I would watch Frozen Empire before I would watch 2016 Ghostbusters.
I wanted my money back, and I watched the 2016 shit on cable. So,
all right. I have a couple things to. We're done with that.
I do have D&D in 15 minutes, so.
Oh, let's talk a little. Well, maybe we should just end it here. Well, no, let's look at some trailers. Hold on.
Yeah, we'll look at trailers real fast.
Because I put trailers in that. We talked a lot about Ghostbusters. I didn't think we were going to talk this much about it, but we did.
Because there's so much shit to break down with subplots that didn't need to be there.
Really quickly, Mara, what do you think about this? Let me share the entire thing. Lucasfilm has announced a Star Wars Skywalker Saga movie marathon to be held on May 4th. Fans will have a chance to experience all 9 films in theaters in honor of the 25th anniversary of Episode 1, The Phantom Menace.
My thoughts on this.
Alamo Drafthouse.
May the 4th
all 9 films.
Yeah. Is a fucking meme. Star Wars Day is May 25th. All right? No, I'm saying it's but we're going to show this on May 4th because the whole May the 4th be with you and bullshit. I'm it's a meme. All right? And secondly, I'm so checked out of Star Wars. I'm I really don't care. You want to go see it? Just keep in mind that you're giving money to Disney, even though you've been complaining about the last 3 films. All right, just keep that in mind. But I don't care if you see it.
I'm curious as to how many people. Well, because if you didn't I've never seen the OG films in theaters. Mm-hmm. That's not true. I saw one of them when it came back to theaters. But I haven't seen the OG and it had a theater experience with those. The prequels I did. I went and saw all of them when I was younger.
It most likely would be the special editions, Tara. I imagine most likely would be the special editions. With the added scenes.
But what do you think? Do you think people will go and sit through the first 6 and leave before the sequel trilogy?
I'd say most of them, yeah. If they go, they'll sit through the first 6 at the very least, or just sit through the OG.
Yeah, sit through the OGs. Yeah,
that's it.
Oh, wait.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's right. The love story comes out this Friday. We're going to talk about that. Yeah, we will. We're going to talk
I'm saying that with my siblings on April 5th. So, yeah.
There's a new trailer for The Penguin. Oh, shit. Hold on. Did you watch this trailer, Mara?
No, I wanted to. Because I did enjoy Colin Farrell's performance as the Penguin in the Batman. He's not the Penguin yet. He's Oswald Cobblepot, but he's one of the positives I could say about that movie.
All right. Well, let's really quickly watch this trailer since you haven't seen it. I don't hate it, honestly. I
No,
don't hate it. I was honestly kind of against it when it was first announced. Because I was like, "Oh, just do the next Batman film." I was getting tired of like, spin-offs of films, spin-off of like side characters getting their own shows. But now that I've seen the trailer, I don't mind it. I'm intrigued. I will probably watch it. Like I'll probably watch this film or this series. I really liked Colin Farrell as the Penguin in the Batman. And I like the environment that Matt Reeves created in that movie as well. So I like the Gotham in that movie and I want to see more of it. I want to see more of like the seedy underground world of Gotham. And I think that that's what we're going to be getting in this film. I'm not mad at it. I think it looks good.
No, I mean, I want to see a little bit more. I'm not saying a lot more, but just like a little bit more because it's kind of more of a teaser. But I'd say I would at least give the first episode a watch and see if it at least holds my interest enough to want to watch this, like the second episode. Because I'm like, I have Max, so I might as well just when it's up, because I don't know if they're gonna release it, like just drop the entire like limited series or do the one a week sort of approach. I kind of hope they do the one a week because that would give something to talk about each weekend. But yeah, okay, Trace, this will be weekly. I'm hoping it'll be weekly. Talk about that. But yeah, I still can't believe that's Colin Farrell. That's like an amazing makeup job. And
I know. What a great job.
And acting. Like that, like I could see him becoming the Penguin. Because like right now he's not. But he definitely has you're the Penguin feel to him.
My kill for $5. Mara, are you getting hyped for your most anticipated movie of the year next week, Godzilla x Kong?
Well, like I said, I'm seeing it with siblings on April 5th. And not only am I seeing it with siblings on April 5th, I get to see it in fucking IMAX on April 5th.
Her sister is so stoked for this film.
Yeah, my sister is so fucking stoked for this movie.
Beetlejuice is another trailer that got released this week. Let's watch this trailer. Optimistic about it. I mean, look at Michael freaking Keaton. Look at him.
I'm saying that's why like when I quote tweeted
phenomenal. It's like he never left the role of Beetlejuice.
It's almost like the true roles that Michael Keaton just effortlessly falls back into. Beetlejuice and Batman. Did you see the Arnold Schwarzenegger and Danny DeVito where they're up on and like basically like Michael Keaton just like went like Bruce in the split second went to Bruce Wayne Batman. But this one, like I said, fingers crossed. It's a teaser. I don't want to get my hopes up or anything, because like it's like I don't want to be disappointed. However, I'm hoping this is like a Top Gun Maverick situation where like no one was expecting this sequel to come out, and now we're getting it like so many years later, and it actually is a decent sequel to the first one. And I trust Tim Burton. Like Tim Burton doesn't let anybody mess with his shit. So if he has like full on creative control in this movie, I trust him more than most other people. I'm not saying they'll be perfect necessarily, but I trust him more to actually respect what came before because it's his own creation.
I love it. Like I'm looking forward to it. I'm cautiously optimistic about it. I am not on board. I can't stand the fact that they keep making sequels to films that came out years and years and years ago. But you're right. Like Maverick, like maybe this will be a huge hit. Maybe this will be a sequel that is warranted, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
it doesn't feel like a studio cash grab to me, at least, because it's actually kind of like I guess.
Lydia's grown up. Let's see how what happens.
It's from Tim Burton himself, so it's not like a separate studio stepped in and like we're gonna make a sequel to this because this movie was like nostalgic for a lot of people. This is kind of like Tim Burton's own continuation of like his creation, much like with Top Gun Maverick was a continuation of like that own creation.
Maverick story,
Maverick story. So
like there could be a reason. Honestly, the reason. Hold on. Let's hear him one more time.
The juice is loose.
So good.
You can tell he's happy to be back in that role.
It's so good. Dude, I was Lydia Dietz for Halloween.
And I was Wednesday Addams, and I look like and Jenna Ortega plays Wednesday Addams in the new show. So it was like,
Yeah.
we technically did recreate the Beetlejuice thing.
I went to a Halloween party and I was Lydia for Halloween. It was so cool. I should have done that for the stream too, but I changed it up. Oh man, yeah, this looks really exciting, but I was like, why are they back? Why are they back at this house? Who is dead? Who is dead? Well, the person that's dead is no, that's not this one.
I'll be right back.
The dad.
Yeah, it might be the dad. I'll be right back.
Yeah, the person that's dead is the dad. And I had said this after I initially watched the trailer. I had said this, that I bet the dad died, and it's confirmed, yes. Following the first footage for Beetlejuice trailer, a new report by the Hollywood Reporter confirms one actor from the original movie will be absent from the sequel. Jeffrey Jones, who portrayed the relaxation-seeking Dietz family patriarch Charles, will not feature in the upcoming sequel, as the last trailer confirms that the character passed away. The character was arrested in 2002 for solicitation and possession of stuff, and is a registered sex offender. So he is dead. He is dying in the film. That is the funeral that they are attending, is the dad's funeral, which probably is the reason why they are back at this house, because it seems like they haven't been back at this house for a while. So maybe they went back to this house because it was probably possibly the last time that the dad was like relaxed or something. So, they went back to this house to bury him at the place where he had like his best memories or something. Possibly that's why they're back here. I think I read somewhere else where like Lydia is also having a hard time with her rebellious teenage daughter. So I'm wondering if the teenage daughter is the one who brings Beetlejuice back. Because we see her uncovering, the little town and everything. So we'll see. But I'm looking forward to this movie. It looks good. And Michael Keaton, he looks phenomenal. I know she's doing it. I should cosplay. I have the dress. When we'll see in the Wednesday dress. Hey, maybe. I have it. Another thing that cautiously optimistic, yes. Rebellious teenage daughter, this is dumb. I was like, what? Happy Gilmore 2 script is in the works from Adam Sandler. So Christopher McDonald had said that him and Adam Sandler were somewhere. I saw Adam 2 weeks ago and he said, McDonald, you're going to love this. And he shows me the first draft of Happy Gilmore 2. He did show me that, and I thought, wow, that would be awesome. So it's in the works. Fans demand it. Damn it. What fans are demanding a Happy Gilmore 2? Like the first Happy Gilmore is this classic. Again, I don't like sequels. This is an unnecessary sequel. Why does Happy need to come back? There's no need for it. He doesn't need to come back, right? There's no need for a Happy Gilmore 2. What for?
Because the whole point of him like joining that was to earn money so his grandmother could basically pay off the balance.
He was forced to play golf. He's a hockey player, and the reason he was forced to play golf was because his grandmother was losing her house. And he needed to raise money, and so this is how he raised money. Like that's fine. It's a good story. It's a good contained story. There's no reason for Happy to come back for a second movie. What is it going to be? What is it going to be in the second movie? Like someone is coming. Did he set some sort of record or something? And maybe like someone's going to break it and he has to come out of retirement like that. There's just no need for a second film, honestly.
Yeah.
So this is kind of dumb. I'm not excited for this. There's no need for it. Hollywood's just trying to cash in. Here's another one. Here's another example of that. Jack Black says that he's ready to make a School of Rock sequel. School of Rock is probably the only movie aside from the Kung Fu Panda movies that I actually like Jack Black in. I find him to be a little annoying.
Well, Jack Black plays Jack Black pretty much.
Yeah, he's annoying. I like him in Kung Fu Panda because he's the voice of he just voices a character. But as far as like films, this is the only film that I can tolerate him in. Is the School of Rock, and why on earth do we need to make another one? I wish there'd be a School of Rock 2 Electric Boogaloo. Like, I honestly think that he would call it that, you know?
Yeah. I'm like,
how do I feel about Nacho Libre? I can't stand that movie. I don't like it. Yeah, it doesn't need a sequel. It just doesn't need a sequel. I know I can't stand that movie. I can't stand it. Yeah, I don't. He stars as Dewey Finn. The movie was cute. It was a cute movie. It's done. It's over with. No need for a sequel. There's no need for a sequel. Mara, you'll like this news.
I'll talk about this, but then I do have to jump off. Yeah.
All right. Godzilla celebrates his 70th birthday party with a 24-hour franchise marathon. I think maybe I should. The kaiju returns to the big screen later this month with Godzilla x Kong. When is this happening? From June 7th to June 13th. Music Box Theater has partnered with Japanese Art Foundation to host a slew of events. It's in Chicago. Music Box Theater Chicago is hosting a 24-hour marathon. That is freaking awesome. How will you be celebrating Godzilla's 70th birthday?
Watching it in the safety of my home and not going to Chirac. I would love to see it in actual theater, actually go to an event.
That would be pretty dope.
But Chicago, no.
I'll go to Chicago. I like to travel.
There's a reason we call it Chirac. There's a reason we call it Chirac.
Hey, I've been doing a lot of traveling the past year, and I'm going to do a lot of traveling this year, so I wouldn't mind going to Chicago for that. That'd be fun.
You'll get good at diving for cover.
But yeah, that's all. That's all we have for today. Thank you guys so much for the gifted subs. You guys are y'all slowly, and for becoming channel members, you're slowly turning my chat green. Also, if you are a channel member, look out this week at the community tab because I am launching my members only Discord. It is members only. I am getting rid of I got rid of my other Discord. And I'm doing a members only Discord where we can hang out, we can talk there. It's for members only, and I'm going to be doing like some watch parties with you guys there as well on certain days. So look out for that in the community tab, members only. So that'll be a lot of fun. I'm also thinking of doing members only streams. Those watch parties, by the way, are going to be private. They're not going to be live. So it's access that you will have as strictly a channel member. I'm also thinking of doing members only gaming streams. We'll talk about that more once I get my Discord up and running as to which games you want to play. Like we can do for the easiest game for me would be Mario Kart or what is that one called? Party Animals. Party Animals. That'd be the easiest games for me to play, or even like Among Us or something like that. But yeah, those are the easiest.
I haven't played it yet.
Yeah, I like it. I like Among Us. But yeah, it's going to be members only streams. Now those members only gaming streams, those would be live. I would do those live. But the watch parties that will be for members only. So yeah, but yeah, Mara, you got to head out.
Yep, I have D&D technically now, but so I play D&D Sunday afternoons. But speaking of watch parties, I do watch parties on my Discord. Yesterday, in fact, basically, I showed the original The Crow, because there was a couple of guys I hadn't seen it at all, so I did a watch party of the 1994 movie The Crow, and you can find me on Kick. My Kick, Jade Shadow. I do my gaming streams there. I'll be playing Mass Effect tomorrow and Gears of War on Tuesday. And then top 10 1985 films Wednesday evening. And I'll figure out what to do near the end of the week, because the end of the week is Easter weekend. So not sure how the streaming is going to work that weekend. Yeah, that's pretty much my schedule.
Nice. Follow Mara on all of her social medias and on Kick. You can head out. I know you have.
Yeah, so I'm going to jump out.
And your D&D friends are in chat. Like, let's go.
Let's go. Yeah, so again, like I spoke to like Steph earlier, like maybe skip next weekend since it's Easter. And then the 7th, I'm going to do like a pre-birthday Talk Nerdy stream, because my birthday's April 10th. And the Sunday before will be like a pre-birthday stream. So I'm outie. So bye-bye.
Bye, Mara. All right, guys. Thank you guys so much for joining me and Mara today on Talk Nerdy. Had a lot of fun. Thank you guys so much for the Streamlabs donations, the thumbs ups, the gifted subs, and all of the super chats. I really appreciate all the support that you guys have been giving me as I've been trying to improve and get more content out and stream a lot more. So thank you guys so much for all of your support. And I'll see you later on today on Kick and Twitch, where I'll be doing a gaming stream, trying to finish out the Harry Potter Lego series. So yeah, I'll see you guys there. Bye.